Hello and good evening, and welcome to RWB International's live stream, coming to you from the sunny climes of South Africa, Johannesburg. Joining me in the booth today is RWB Taz. Say hi, Taz. Say hello.
Evening all, how are we?
Great to have you in the booth tonight, Taz. I do apologise. There's a little bit of a mess in here. We did throw a little bit of a after race party after last weekend's great event, so I do apologise.
It's alright. Nothing what I'm used to with RWB, mate.
So tonight then, today you're joining us for the second in what is a 5-part series event hosted by our very own RWB International. Tonight is a fairly momentous occasion, so we're fielding the largest collection of GT3 cars we've ever had here at RWB, with a humongous 54 cars out on track tonight, something of a club record, I believe. So, there are 54 cars out on track right now, sharing this one track. And a very special track it is. So, tonight, nestled in the city of Johannesburg, South Africa, we're currently racing at Kyalami Grand Prix circuit. And this circuit has been is the home of South African motorsport, and has been the home of South African motorsport for over half of a century, since 1961. This is a new addition to Assetto Corsa Competizione, which is the sim that we are hosting this race in at the moment. Part of the Intercontinental DLC pack. This circuit has been delivered along with 3 other world-class circuits. Do you know much about the layout here, Taz?
That is a fairly short track. It's up and down. It's going to be an enjoyable race, mate. It's the curbs are shocking on here. If you take the corners wrong, hit the sausage curb, you're going to go flying into the wall if you hit it wrong. So you've got to think about it, control, and concentrate for the whole hour.
Absolutely. It's actually a shorter circuit, this one, so 2.85 miles. We were just saying earlier that it's around 30 to 40 seconds shorter lap time than at Spa, the previous track for this series. We're currently on board with Rigel. We're in the middle of a hot qualifying session right now as we see Rigel coming around the penultimate corner. We're just going to have a little bit of an onboard with Rigel now as he comes around the final turn onto the start-finish straight. So coming over the line then, on board with Rigel. So over the line, first corner then is a right-hander. This is called the Kink. A little bit of a run-up then to this slow second gear left-hander. This is Crowthorne. And Rigel, as ever, getting it nice and clean. The right-hander there is Juxki Squeak into a funny corner, this one, Barbecue, this one was called. And then another small squirt down the straight into a fast sweeping right-hander here, so a fast right-hander, lots of downforce required to keep the speed through here. This is Sunset. And coming into, this is the clubhouse bend where as you can see, the crowds like to gather up on the bankings. Into the sweeping S's then, so a fast chicane, fast left, fast right, taking care over the undulating camber of the track, and then up into Le Coupe, which is another hairpin, and then down the hill into Mine Shaft as we come down here, as we can see the city of Johannesburg in the background there. So round the Mine Shaft then into another hairpin, slow second-hand corner, first gear corner for Rigel. That's the Crocodiles. Into another fast kink. This is called the Cheetah. And Rigel getting a little bit out of shape there. Into the final turn then. This is Inway. And I think that lap was actually an invalid lap, and it looks as though Rigel is avoiding actually getting over the line on that one. So that's a lap of Kyalami. So 54 cars out on track tonight. Taz, a whole sort of mix of people from around the sim racing community. Then, so tonight we've got RWB stars such as this man Jake Moore, who's out on track right now, currently holding second place in qualifying with a 1:41.556. Winner of last weekend's event at Spa, Jake Moore. Taz?
Indeed, mate. He ran it last week. He dominated from start to the end, mate, like usual.
Yeah, it was fairly untouched, although it does look as though he's got a little bit of competition out there tonight. He is driving the Honda NSX, so I would have thought that Jake, or Speed Demon, being the man that he is, would normally go for the Audi RS8, but this time decided to go the Honda NSX. Does he know something we don't, Taz?
With Jake, you just let him do what he wants, mate, because he knows a lot of things what we don't about sim racing. If he's chose the Honda, it's a very stable car, the Honda is, so like any car what he drives, he makes it stable, don't he? So it doesn't really matter.
Absolutely. Also out there tonight then is our very commentator Top Cock, RWB Tiger there in the... Let's not clear which car it is. Let's just double check. Probably the orange one.
No, it's the one with the Bentley in the... Or is it the Bentley? Yeah, the Bentley with the Union Jack on the side, mate. It looks very nice, actually.
He's gone for the Bentley today for this league, it would seem. So, yeah, and rocking the blue colour this time. Number 49 then is our Top Cock Tiger. Looking for good things from Tiger. I think he's holding 28th currently in qualifying with a 142.9. So pretty good. Middle. So should be a good one.
If you just look at it at the moment with the times, just 5 minutes left. From say 30th to first, it's only 1.5 second difference. It's going to be proper tight.
We're just following around Oliver Curtin then at the moment, who I believe, I could be wrong, he got a podium last weekend. So yeah, Oliver Curtin driving the Bentley. I believe he came third at Spa last week. Currently holding 6th place in qualification with a 1:41.943. I mean, that's a difference of half a second between 1st and 6th at the moment. And one for the people in the crowd. So I happen to know that this man, RWB Winchy, the Winchester, I happen to know that his family are all sat down watching RWB Winch out there on track today, rocking the light blue, sort of navy, sky blue and red livery in the RWB in the Audi RS8.
Yeah. Sorry.
I was going to say, holding 5th place with a 1:41.799.
Just a couple of things in chat. Someone's asked how Mr. Proctor's doing.
Tom Proctor
and John Downs are doing that. I think it's the same guy who asked last week. So
yeah, quite a few fans in chat at the moment.
And Evil's popped in, so hello, bud. He said that Speed has loved the NXS since the days we were on Project Cars 2.
Right, yeah, I could see that, yeah. So Zin has asked, how are T. Proctor and J. Downs doing? So we're looking at T. Proctor right now. He's in the pits as it is right now. He's actually holding 37th place with a 1:43.596. So in the sort of bottom half quadrant, in the middle of the pack, or the bottom half.
Yeah, and he's the other guy who's dogging is just 4 places behind John Downs.
Yeah, and James Downs is
James
41st with a 144.26. So a good 3.5 seconds off the pace of the front runners at the moment. That there, we've just seen lead. That was Gabsy, I believe. See if we can find Gabsy. So there we are. So we're just watching Gabsy right now, Gareth Rowland from Rowland's Racing. He may be streaming this actually. If you check out his YouTube channel, you might see that online at the moment. Another one who's sporting the Honda NSX. Gabsy is actually one of the masterminds in putting this together, this ACC event. So a big shout out to Gareth Rowlands of Rowland's Racing, RWB Gabsy, for getting this organised for the club. Well done, mate. And that record, that club record of 54 cars out on track today, is in no part, is due to some of his efforts. So well done to Gabsy.
Oh yeah, big time, mate. Good to see the club grow, mate. That's what we like to see.
Absolutely, yeah.
And to your question about Oliver, he did come third, mate. I've got those other results in front of me.
Yep. I think it was Kevin Cox who came second, I believe.
Yeah, it was Speed, Kevin Cox, Oliver, and Sean, and then Carlos and Vigil, the top 6 from last week.
So we're actually just catching up with Kevin Cox now. So this is Kevin Cox in another Honda NSX with the flashing hazards. Beautiful black and red livery there. So yeah, Kevin came second last week at Spa. He's currently holding 4th on the grid at the moment as he just comes over the line. Has that been enough to move him up? I think, yeah, he's holding 4th. That last lap was a 141.841. Kevin's best lap right now is a 141.553, 3/10 off the leader, who is now this man, Jake Moore, who is difficult to see actually. There we are. So Jake Moore in the pits. Looks as though there's a little bit of glitching going on there. There's so many cars out on. So 1 minute of quali left then. I shouldn't imagine there'll be too much jostling of positions right now. We'll get the timetable up right now. So currently in first, then we've got Jake Moore with a 141.27. Second place is M. Molee with a 141.349. Third place is G. Calzetti in the Ferrari 488 GT3 with a 141.496. Fourth place is M. Moyes in the V8 Vantage with a 141.529. Fifth place held by Kevin Cox, who we've just seen, with a 141.553. Dave Crew, RWB Dave Crew, holding a very respectable 141.73. Looking at that, Taz, I believe Dave Crew is actually the highest, apart from obviously Jake Moore. So we've got Jake Moore in the top 3, but top 5, there's nobody else from RWB other than Dave Crew, it would seem right now. So the closest we've got...
you got Moley, he's in the group.
Oh, is he? All right. And my apology to Moley. Okay. Yeah. RWB Mole, right? Okay. My apologies, Mole. So yeah, we got RWB Mole in 4th, and then we got closest. Then is Dave Crew in 6th. 7th is held by Balanas in 7th with a 141.74, and then RWB Winch in 8th with a 141.799. Our very own RWB Rodders with a 141.805, and in 10th place we've got Oliver Curtin, our 3rd place winner, with a 141.886.
Mad
rounds out.
Yeah, Mad has just dropped beat Bennett in the 11th. Just jumped him at the end.
So A small interlude here then. So one thing just to be aware of then. So the guys out on track will have had a race briefing. As we move into race. So, is there anything of interest in the briefing that they've been given today, Taz?
Just mainly be careful first corner, obviously. It's proper tight. And watch the sausage scopes. And if someone hits the curb in the inside and you're on the outside, expect to be bumped. But if you get bumped off the track, just rejoin very carefully. So that's mainly it, really, and just enjoy the race, really, and be clean like you have been.
So we can see then we've got a total of 52 cars. Then looks like we've lost 2 cars in the interim. 52 cars all lined up on the grid. 1.5 minutes to go. It's anybody's race. Anybody's race tonight. Obviously, Jake Moore is always the one to watch. But it could be anyone's race. One of the interesting things about tonight is that because we've got so many cars out on track, and not a huge speed differential from the front runners to the back runners, but it does mean that oh dear, what's going on? It does mean that there is the over the course of the race, the front runners are going to catch up quite quickly with the back runners, and for a large majority of this race, there will be a lot of backmarker passing, which does mean that the guys are going to have to be extra careful whilst they race through the pack.
There seems like there's been some late runners coming in, and they put P. Garcia and Jay Hall have joined and now pushed in front of Jake. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's Pepe Garcia. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure what's happening at the moment. Hopefully Jake's car's not ruined.
Yeah, it's not looking great. Could be a reset here then. Could be a full course yellow. That's another thing to know, actually, that we do have the head honchos do have the power to enforce a full course yellow. Looks like Pepe's actually pulling over there, look. So Pepe's pulled over.
Oh, that's good to see. Both guys have pulled over, which is good.
I think John Hall was also one of those guys. So as they're coming around, and so this is through round Inway then. It's a short formation lap starting a couple of corners from start-finish line, as we see Jake Moore and Dave Crew getting ready to race. "52 cars all lined up and ready to go." Any minute now, they will be setting up.
Isn't it a full lap, isn't it?
Oh, right, okay. They're going for a full formation lap.
Yeah, because of the guys jumped in front, I reckon. Who went in the front.
Right, they're off. Yep, they're off.
Oh, they're off.
Yeah, I thought as much. So, yep, they're off then. So, coming into T1 then, we've got Jake Moore followed by Dave Crew. Dave Crew on the inside. Jake Moore has certainly got the run to the next corner, though. Look at all these cars coming through. Looks like everybody's keeping it fairly clean. Switching to Helicam then, see if we can keep up some of this action. And it does look as though there's been a small accident at the back.
Looks like Dennis was involved. Oh, there's a big pile up.
Yeah, I'm just going to see if we can get this, get a replay. Doesn't like we're going to be able to, so that's unfortunate.
Fortunately, it looks like the guys who's in was Audi, Cos, and one other.
Is this going to be a full course yellow is the question. It doesn't look as though they've called it. It looks like they're just going to push up. So despite the calamity at the back, we're pushing on with race pace then. 1 minute, 1.5 minutes in. Jake Moore coming up to the final turn for lap 1. So not the cleanest of starts then, Taz, but a start nonetheless.
Absolutely. It was doing so well, but unfortunately you can't have it clean like real life racing. It happens, so unfortunately that's racing.
On board with Dave Crew there. Looking at the tail of Jake Moore just coming into stunts. Jake already managed to pull a 1.5 second gap in a single lap, but Dave is clearly no slouch in that Lamborghini, managing to stay on the backside of Jake, which is good news.
Oh, absolutely. But talking to Dave during the weekend, he absolutely loved the Lambo. He wanted to try it. No one else was really giving it a go, so chucked it into aggressive stab and peaked it, and turned out to be him. He's loving it.
Beautiful livery as well. I'm really keen on Dave's live. Dave's followed by this man then. So this is Gianmarco Calzetti. Calzetta, sorry. A name I'm not actually all that familiar with.
I think he's new. He didn't race last week.
Yeah, didn't race last week, but clearly one of the members of the public. So this race has been opened up to the wider sim racing community for not just RWB international members, but also fellow sim racers that are looking for something with an extra air of authenticity to it. As we see Calzetti go up the inside on the brakes around Dave Crew. Dave not really putting up much of a fight at this. Still very early days, so I would expect to see Dave just hanging onto the backside of Calzetta, and hoping to stick with him and maybe get a little bit of a draft and catch up to Jake.
Yeah, it was a lovely pass at turn 1. I think that's where most of the passes will probably happen, I reckon.
Yeah, there's a good couple of places for passes, isn't there, around here? Just having a look at the track map. So obviously, T1, Crowthorne, great place to put in a pass. Also, Clubhouse Bend, maybe. You've got the fast drive coming out of Sunset into a sort of second or third gear left-hander. You wouldn't want to make anything through the S's as we get on board with Calzetta. So this is down through Cheetah then. So I reckon you might be, Mineshaft. You might be able to put something together here at the Crocodiles, as we see Calzetta using all the track that he can. This is Cheetah just here. Fast kink, you wouldn't want to make anything here. But down here at Inway, the final turn coming onto the start-finish, I would expect to see a lot of passes getting done there.
It all depends on how well you take Cheetah, really, innit? If you want to pass there.
You've got to stick right on the back end of the guy in front to be able to make that stick.
Absolutely, it's a bit similar to the right-hander at Laguna Seca, isn't it? The final bend there.
Yeah, that's right. The left-hander, you mean?
Yeah, the final bend inwind, similar to the left-hander at Laguna Seca.
So we're just watching this man then. This is Justin Madley in 12th place, driving the Lexus. Rammed into a pack of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, around about 7 cars there in that tightly knit pack. We've got I think sort of Justin sort of leading this mini pack, with followed by Rigel, followed by Helmut, followed by John D. As we see them coming through, where are they? I think that's Mineshaft. coming through Mineshaft. Oh, it's through the S's, sorry. Yeah, through the S's up into Le Cop. On board with Justin Madley then, and just ahead is RWB Winch. Winchy holding a steady 11th place then, so Madley's just put in a last lap was a 143.644. Winch just ahead put in a 148.396. So last lap for Winch was a bit of a rough one. And Evil mentioned in chat that Dave might have cooked his tyres on the initial first few laps.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Let's catch up with Dave then. So Dave also getting challenged again here then. So who's this behind? We've got Marco Moyes, which I think is Moley, going up the inside there. Also being challenged by... it's difficult to see. So yeah, that's Marco Moyes ahead. Moley is now taking 3rd place. And I believe that's Oliver Curtin in the Bentley. Yeah, that's right. I know it was a B. It began with a B. So yeah, Dave struggling, it would seem.
Yeah.
Had a great start. He's just got a little bit. It looks as though he's lost a smidge of composure.
Got a tail train following up behind him at the moment, and all 3 drivers behind him are very quick. So hopefully he can hold his bottle and keep him behind him.
Yeah, you've got Rodders there and the Lexus behind, looking to challenge, coming up through the S's into. As we see, this is another slow corner then, so another opportunity to pass up here if you can make it happen. Coming down to Mineshaft then, as we see Dave Crew being challenged by Rodders. It's into Crocodiles then. Rodders looking at the inside, he's not managed to jam it up there. As we see them come down to Cheetah, I believe. And then Inwat coming up. This is a place to make it happen if you can. And it doesn't look as though Rodders has quite got the drive.
Cool, Dave had a bit of a tail slap there. Rodders got the drive on him, I reckon.
So that's Rodders then going up. On board with Dave. Can we see that's Rodders there, just looking at the inside. As we move to a wider shot. There we go. I couldn't get the camera to change as we see Rodders then moved up into 6th position. Dave Crew down into 7th.
Evil could be right. Dave could have used his tyres up fairly quickly.
Just having a little catch up with our race leader then. So Jake Moore cruising away. 10 minutes in then. The gap back to Moley is
7.5 seconds.
7 seconds, yeah, back to Mole. So a hell of a gap then. It actually looks as though Mole might have made a mistake. I'm not sure. The timing board was a little bit... what's the word now? Erratic then. So it's reading back down at 7 seconds. So that may have been a bit of a misread. But that's Mole then up into 2nd place, followed by this Marco Moyes, who's being challenged by GM Marco Calzetta, who's gone up on the inside there, coming into the Crocodiles, I believe. Is he going to have the run on him coming down through Cheetah? So on board with Calzetta then, that's Inway on the... Quite a fast entry on Inway, it would seem.
It is, yeah. If you get the Cheetah right, you can tie on the curve, fly down the hill a bit. Yeah, you got to be good on the brakes there.
Calzetta looking to close up on the inside of Moyes there. Looks as though Moyes has managed to make that stick though. As we see them coming up to Sunset, I believe. No, not quite. So coming up to Sunset now, that was Barbecue, they've just gone through. Rodders looking at the inside of Moyes now. Rodders up the inside of Moyes, coming up through Sunset. Coming down into the clubhouse bend, then into the left-hander. Is Moyes going to be able to make a... And it looks as though Rodders has managed to hold him off. So Rodder's now up into 5th place. And Rodders is absolutely charging.
Yeah, I think he's found his rhythm a bit, and oh, a bit of a late turn there, but yeah, it seems like he's found his groove a bit, and he's going up like he usually does with Rodders.
So yeah, not the best qualifying session perhaps for Rodders, but he's certainly making amends for it now in the race. Up into 5th place then for Rodders. Brilliant race. Just in his sights then is this man, Oliver Curtin then in the Bentley, chasing down Calzetta, but Rodders is right there on his rear as we come out into Inway over the start-finish line. That Lexus quite beefy in a straight line, but I don't think it's quite got the legs on it that the Bentley.
No, I don't think it has, mate. But when you look in the back mirror and just see that big ass Bentley in the mirrors, you think, oh god, that's the size of it.
On the rear wing then with Oliver Curtin looking back at the Lexus of Rodders as we come through Barbecue, I believe, coming down into Sunset. Then the fast right-hander. Curtin looking like he's looking fairly tidy, but it doesn't seem as though he's able to get back on the rear end of Calzetta. Calzetta managing to fend him off in that Ferrari.
In the YouTube chat, RWB Fabio, his PC crashed on the start of the race, so that's why we dropped him.
On board with Rodders then, it looks as though Oliver Curtin and Calzetta are getting away from Rodders. Just behind Rodders is this man, Kevin Cox, our 2nd place podium winner last week at Spa, looking to get another great performance tonight. As we see Rodders go wide there, Rodders getting on the grass. Is that going to compromise his braking and coming into Inway then? Looks as though he's managed to keep it fairly tidy, but certainly feeling the pressure.
Looking down the field at the times, looks like there's quite a lot of battles going on.
Yeah. So we're going to have a look further down the field. We've been with the front runners for a little bit. I did want to catch up with this man then, Nate New. So Nate put on quite the hell of a show last weekend with some great racing in the middle of the pack. Currently holding 28th position in the McLaren, I believe that is. Currently in a fight with Gris-de-Mi, who is driving the Bentley in 27th place. Gris-de-Mi is one of the newcomers to RWB. Not a fully fledged RWB international member, but he has joined up obviously for the ACC series. And as far as I don't know him all too well, but some of the history I've heard is that he, as originally a sort of console racer, he was fairly big in the. As we see him go wide there.
God.
Commentators curse a little bit for greeting me there. I do apologise.
Yeah, bumped someone. I reckon. I don't know who though.
Well, it looks as though he's managed to get back on course, and it doesn't look as though he's picked up any damage. That Bentley's still looking fairly pristine. But yeah, Demi or Gris-de-Mi, or Gris for short, a fairly popular Twitch streamer who originally, I believe, was heavily involved in the Forza Motorsport community, but decided to upgrade and get into PC sim racing, and has been championing the PC sim racing cause for a little while now. And so far as I'm aware, he's absolutely loving it.
You can't beat PC racing. I was console racer and come to PC, and I haven't gone back since.
So, looking for good things from Greedy Me. I think he run a fairly decent race last weekend at Spa. But yeah, he's looking pretty tidy out there tonight in 28th place. This man then, Stephen Dent, the big, booming, musky voice of RWB Pinpoint Pinners. Lock up your dogs, because I'll eat. Pinners then out in the Aston Martin Vantage V8, holding a very steady 39th place. Last lap was a 1:44.31. That was his best lap as well, actually. So up and coming right now, Pinners, looking to challenge TTTV Race World. This man in 38th place, driving the Audi RS8. Looks like Pinners is challenging. Looking up the inside, just having a little look, having a little sniff, but not able to make anything of it. As we get on board with Pinners. So that's Race World there on the going very defensive, coming into Lecoup. That was going to compromise his drive coming out down through Mineshaft. Pinners obviously driving the V8 could potentially have the drive coming out the traction zone as they come down into Mineshaft. This is the Crocodiles, slow sweeping first gear as we see TV go wide there. So Race World TV's gone wild. He's gone wild and let Stephen Dent through there. So great driving from Pinners there. Kept his cool, kept his calm, and has managed to force Race World into forced him into a unforced error, and has swept up and taken 37 plates. So well done, Pinners.
It looks like there's a couple of early pit stoppers. Scott, is it Bennett, Audi, and Rigel?
So yeah, we've got Berkvest in the pits right now. We've also got Khalil Kiradar in the AMG, currently in 48th place. Does look as though Audi is also pitted. So we'll get Audi up now. So there's Audi out there in the Nissan GTR, my personal favourite. I absolutely love that. And to all you budding sim racing enthusiasts out there on stream right now, if you want to drive a GTR around Bathurst, we've got an event tomorrow night, 9:30, and we'll be racing the GT1 version of the GTR around Bathurst for 50 minutes if you're interested. So come on down into Discord and give us a shout if you'd like to take part in that.
Evil has asked, are they fixing damage or is it tyre wear increase for this league?
So far as I know, there's no increased tyre, but there is a mandatory pit stop. And I'm fairly certain you can fix some damage. I don't know if you can fix all the damage in ACC, but the guys are pitting fairly early, so it may be that they've picked up damage and have decided to pit early to get that damage fixed. There's a mandatory pit stop anyway, so if it's going to save you time in the long run to early pit and fix some damage, then that might be why we're seeing these guys pit early. Some people like to pit early and get it out of the way. Others like to pit as late as possible to keep their options open. I'm not sure what the best strategy is, but this man, Jake Moore, who's winning Evil's correcting me. So you didn't mention what's in tomorrow night's Mount Panorama races. So it's in Race Room Racing Experience. So tomorrow night we'll be racing the GTR GT1 tomorrow evening, 9:30, on Race Room Racing Experience around Bathurst. So if you're interested, come on down to Discord and get involved. It's going to be an open lobby as well, so feel free to join. But yeah, this man, Jake Moore, was one of the last people to pit last weekend. He pitted at the 20-minute mark around Spa, and he was just miles and miles and miles ahead. Although it did look as though the guy behind had managed to close the gap up to about 5 or 6 seconds. So I'm not sure whether him staying out on one tyres had actually compromised his race somewhat towards the midpoint of the race. But obviously by the end, the fact that he was on fresher tyres meant that he was able to extend that gap out again. So, it's a tough choice, and you've got to pit at some point. So it's one of those things that you've got to test and try out, and obviously your strategy can change on the day as well.
Yeah, but what I found out was with pit stops, you can actually put 60 litres in our pit stop, so you could start with low fuel and add it up at the end, or you can do vice versa. So it's pretty handy.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, yeah, is that with ACC you can actually. So one of the differences between ACC and race room is that you can fuel the car up and change the tyres at the same time in ACC, whereas you can't in race room. And I think that caught a few people out last weekend, because obviously race room is the sim that we've raced the most recently. And a few of the guys knew that you could actually run lighter fuel at the race start and add fuel at the pit stop point, and that just meant that you could increase your speed in the earlier stint by having a lighter car, and thereby being able to get around the track quicker.
It looks like Sean Wright has jumped in the pits, so he's
Sean Wright.
Yeah, he's just pitted.
Yep. So Sean Wright in the pits then at the 36 minute and 50 seconds. Sean Wright, a stalwart. I think Sean Wright's an RWB member, am I right?
Yes, he is.
The problem with people using their real names rather than their RWB names means it's difficult to map them back to them in Discord. Yeah, Sean Wright is a fairly stalwart RWB member as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, Sean W60.
Great to see him out on track tonight, racing the... What's he driving? Is that a Porsche? The Porsche 911, yeah. As we see him coming out in 36th position, holding a very steady 36th position. So Sean Wright's last lap was... there's so much information. Right, here we go, yeah. So Sean Wright's last lap was his last lap was a 2:35.5, because that was obviously the pit stop. His fastest lap tonight has been a 1:42.861, which is about a second and a half off the fastest guys up front, but still pretty reasonable.
Sure is. Too Evil, not sure about Speed's pedals. I think he hasn't, and he hasn't got his new ones yet from Charger, so I'm not sure what he's racing on at the moment. I think he's still using his V2s, I think.
So on board then with Mole in second place, then trying to see if we can spot Speed Demon, Jake Moore. Does look as though there's a couple of back markers between Mole and Speed at the moment. I believe the gap is around about 20 seconds actually, looking at this. So yeah, Speed just coming down through Mineshaft at the moment. So that's Mineshaft, and Mole's just coming down through exit of Lagoon. Jake just gone through Crocodiles, coming into Cheetah. So a good 10, maybe 15 second gap between these two. So Speed chugging away, pulling away at the moment, and Mole and Speed both haven't pitted yet. So
I've been watching the leaderboard, and a couple of people are going steady, like Gabsy, he's steady in the top 15 with Helmet, Rick, John. Dave Cruz burnt his tyres out apparently at the start, but he's holding 10th place really nicely.
He's not pitted yet either, so...
No. So he must have had a little wobble, I reckon, and composed himself a bit.
His last lap was a 1:43.461. Dave's fastest lap tonight is a 1:42.765. So 142. Just to put that into perspective, the fastest lap tonight has been a 141.7. So that's a whole second faster by Jake Moore. Obviously, Jake's off into the distance. But second place, Moley, is a 142.492. So Dave, only 3/10 off the the next fastest lap of the second place guy, Moley. Everyone's seeming to be putting in around the 143s at the moment. So Dave's pace is about average with the rest of the field right now. So maybe he's managed to, like you say, get some composure and get those tires under control, and he's now chugging away at it.
Yeah, it looks like it.
He's holding 8th place at the moment as we see him come down through mine. Everybody around Dave at the moment is yet to pit, so everyone you see right now on track is locked in a race. As we get on board with RWB Winch, then holding 7th place right now. Last lap was a 143.221.
Oh no, that's Moles.
That was Calzetta, that wasn't it?
Yeah, Calzetta, yeah.
So what's happened there then? Did he hit the wall?
I'm not sure if he hit the wall, but he hit the grass and it spun him, I think.
Let's have a look then. So 30-second replay then. So we're watching Calzetta now, followed by Rodders. So that's Rodders just behind him, followed by, I didn't quite catch, that's Kevin Cox, followed by Curtin as we see him locked up the brakes and hit the wall. So that's Calzetta then taking a little bit of damage on the front, and that's going to cost him significantly. He was holding 6th place, but that's certainly not going to be the case now. It doesn't look like he's picked up too much damage on the front, but it may have what's the word now? It may have compromised his downforce on that front splitter.
Oh yes, big time, I reckon. Yeah, he did hit it fairly hard.
Yeah, I mean, no. What's the word now? There's no evidence presented by the game that I can see that he's picked up any damage, but that doesn't mean to say that he has. On the wing with helmet, then looking back at Calzetta, I can't see any damage on the front of that car, but he did hit it with a hell of a bump. So
yeah, his back tyres slapped the grass while he was braking for the last corner. Back slapped him straight into the wall.
Let's have a little catch up with this man then, the top cork RWB Tiger, out there in the blue, red, white and blue Bentley Continental. 49th place then, so 3 from the back, but Tiger has pitted. There's a whole slew of cars in front of him that haven't pitted yet, so we're yet to see what Tiger's actual race position is right now. It won't be 49th, there's no way it will be. It will be significantly higher than that right now. But yeah, seems to be running a fairly tidy race. He's got that Bentley under control as we see him come through Inway, coming down over to the start-finish straight, number 49. So it's actually, his car is number 49 and he's in position 49 as well, Taz.
Yeah, well, I don't reckon we'll ever be able to do that again in the whole of streaming, I reckon.
And we've just hit the halfway mark as well, so let's have a little catch up with some other guys. RWB Jammer then in the GTR Yellow Lollipop, following James Downs, and so Zin will be happy to know that James Down is holding 33rd place right now. Jammer has actually pitted right now, yeah, so Jammer's pitted following James Downs. So is Downs going to pit right now at this halfway mark? Let's watch. I think they're just coming down to Inway now, so Downs staying out for another lap then, hoping to hold off Jammer a little bit. Jammer should have the fresher car, the fresher tyres, so should have the drive coming out of the corner as we see them come down into T1 there. Not able to make anything of it then. Downs compromised coming out there, not quite on the apex, very wide, and actually getting on the curb a little bit. Looks as though he's not having a good time of it right now. Jammer is all over him like a bad rash. Coming down this small straight, then into the fast right-hander into Sunset. And it looks as though Jammer's got him round on the outside, so Downs are ceding that position and letting Jammer through. It would. But yeah, great bit of driving there from both of those guys. And we'll see. Oh, was that?
It looked like Dave Anderson or Danny Anderson.
Dan H. Anderson then in the Porsche spun off there. Oh yeah, that front bumper's looking a little dinged up. Looks as though the car's not quite settled on a straight line anymore. It might have dinged the suspension.
I don't know what happened to old man Charger. He went into pits, but it hasn't come up on his the leaderboard. He was in the pits.
So there's Charger now. Look, so this is Charger in the Lexus, driving the same livery as RWB Rod. Charger in 33rd place right now with a 1:44.826 as his best lap. Currently being challenged by Balanos and Bennett. Bennett up on the inside, coming into Le Coupe. And as we come down the hill into Mineshaft, then Berkovic now looking to challenge Charger as well. Charger hasn't pitted yet, so I don't think Charger's actually been in the pits yet, and he is surrounded by guys that have pitted.
It's strange because last lap it said he was in the pits, so I don't know if he had a stop-go penalty or.
There was a stop-go that came up as an announcement. We didn't say who it was for, so maybe that's why we're seeing Charger. Because if you look right now, everybody behind Charger has pretty much pitted right now. There's only really Charger that has yet to pit, or to take his mandatory pit stop, I should say. So these guys behind will be on fresh tyres and are potentially, sort of mid to front runners that have taken the sort of 30, 40, 50 second penalty of a pit stop on their chin just now. So yeah, Charger currently fighting for his life in 34th place.
Well, looking at the leaderboard, RWB, he was doing really well at some stage. I don't know what happened. He was in the top 15, and now he's dropped down rapidly. I don't know what's happened.
Dave Crew then. Dave Crew still not pitted, holding 3rd place in that Lamborghini, followed by Helmut, who's just behind him. Followed by Anderson. I believe Anderson is actually a back marker in this race, so Anderson not in this race. But yeah, Dave looking fairly tidy at the moment. Not too out of shape. And Helmut obviously chasing him down. These guys in 3rd and 4th place, but again, yet to pit yet, so their true position is yet to.
Ben in the chat has asked, where is Mr. Bull? RW Mike, where is he?
Mike Bull, yeah. 2 seconds.
I think he was having a steady race, like what Mike usually does, so.
I can't see him anywhere.
No, he's definitely there.
Never mind, there he is. So Bull currently taking a pit stop, holding 48th place right now. His fastest lap is a 1:44.9, so almost into the 1:45s. So not the greatest of paces right now, but he's currently in a battle with RWB Medster, who's in 47th place right now. And his Medsters is fastest lap is a 1:44.4. You've got Toadstool just ahead of those guys with a 1:44.178. So still fairly competitive, even though hanging around at the back at the moment. Back on board with Tiger then. So Tiger was in 49th, but those guys are in the pits right now. Tiger flashing his hazards. I wonder if that's on purpose. Looks as though he's pulling over. I guess he might have been letting those guys through. Yeah, Bull's not moved. He might be retired.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
retired.
Ghost just said he's retired in the chat.
That's a shame. Just currently watching Andy San then in 19th place. Fastest lap is a 1:42.711 right. Currently chasing down Rick Binnisley in that blue and white Aston Martin V. As we see them coming down through the S's. So then, yeah, so coming down through the S's, coming up to Le Cop, just on board with Andy San then, looking at the rear of Rick Binnis, challenging for 18th place as we come through Le Coupe down into Mineshaft. As we can see, Johannesburg out there over on the horizon. Down through Mineshaft then, this fast left-hander into the Crocodiles. Andy San looking at the inside. I don't think he's quite got enough of a gap, a short enough gap to make anything of that. Just ahead of Rick there is D. Anderson. So that's Anderson up there in the Porsche we saw go off earlier.
Yeah, Anderson's got a 30-second stop and go.
Yeah, he's got a stop and go.
I think he was speeding in the pits, I think.
Andy San, I think, might be letting someone through there. I think he's letting through Jake Moore then. So Jake Moore is actually lapping Rick Binnisley right now. No offense to Rick, but, you know, Jake is incredibly fast. But the interesting point about that is that, you know, Rick and Andy are in 18th and 17th place. So Jake is currently lapping through the top 20 right now. So he's made his way through the top 50, the top 40, the top 30, and is now into the top 20 as backmarkers.
I think one race up, Jake lapped everyone, even second place. I think off one of our races, he lapped everyone.
Yeah, he's on a hell of a... He's not actually pitted yet, though, so that could be something to do with it. He did pit at the 20-minute mark, so a lot of these back markers will get him, or will unlap themselves again when he comes into the pits.
He's 27 seconds ahead of Kevin Cox at the moment.
So yeah, that's this man, Kevin Cox, holding a very steady second place in the NSX.
One of the new guys who joined the server this week, Mad Owl. He lives around about 10 minutes away from me, actually, in Suffolk. He's first race with us and he's 4th. Fair play to him, mate.
Yep, 4th place, but still not pitted. So something worth noting is Maral hasn't pitted yet. The closest guy to him has a 3-second gap, but has pitted. So I think Maral is going to could potentially be... Oh, actually, no, there's actually a fairly large gap there. I'm not sure exactly where Maral's going to come out. That's the difficulty with mandatory pit stop, is trying to figure out exactly where people are and where their race position is.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long the pit stops are. So.
Yeah. Well, it's at least 30 seconds for the tyres, and then you've got another 10, maybe 20 seconds for the slowdown of getting in and out of the pit lane. But let's have a little rundown of the 52 cars out on track at the moment. Then we've got 20 minutes to go. We need to have a little catch up with where everyone is. So right now we're watching Jake Moore in first place, followed not too closely, but hot on his heels, no doubt. If Jake makes a mistake, this man will get him in second place. This is Kevin Cox in the Honda NSX. Third place right now, still not pitted, is RWB Helmet in that beautiful Skyline Nissan GTR in the red and white strip. Followed by Maral in 4th place, who also has not pitted. Maral driving the Aston Martin. And someone who has pitted is Mole Moley in 5th place. So Mole Moley, if the other guys pit and spend a long time in the pits, then Moley could come out on. So Mole holding a very good position, right now. It'd be interesting to see where he comes out when everybody else is pitted. Oliver Curtin in that beautiful Bentley is holding 6th place. And in 7th, we've got Don Jordan in the black and yellow or grey and yellow Aston Martin. 8th place is this man in the Ferrari who we saw hit the wall. Is G. Calzetta in holding 8th place. And RWB Winchy there. Oh, what's happened? Looks as though Winchy's had a big off there.
Oh no. I was just about to say, there you go, Grace.
So
Your man's on.
Yeah, Winchy looks as though he's pulled over. Something terrible has happened to that car right now. Looks like the rear wheels are locked up.
He can't start it.
He's out of the race.
Oh no.
Oh no. So that's really unfortunate. So Ryan Winch out of the race, ladies and gentlemen. We're ever so sorry to announce. But we've got to get back to our rundown. So Winchy was in 9th, but now this man, RWB Rodders, is holding that 9th place in the Lexus, has pitted as well. 10th place, Dave Crew, who we've seen have a bit of a rough ride of it tonight, was holding 2nd place on the grid, and then has slowly but surely lost out in positions and is now holding 9th. But no slouch, Dave. Still keeping it on the grey stuff and still running a hell of a race. Marco Moyes then in the Aston Martin red and black in 10th place, has pitted up. And Gabsy of Gareth Rowland Racing in 11th place in the Honda NSX in that gorgeous, and I must stress this, gorgeous black and green. Oof.
That's lovely.
John D then getting challenged by Andy San up on the inside, coming into Sunset, I believe. This past right-hander, John D's got the inside. San round the outside like a cowgirl right there, but John D's should have the drive coming into Clubhouse. As we see them coming around, looks as though San's got the drive though in that Ferrari. Quite a nice livery, that Ferrari. Let's just get on board with Andy. Andy got a hell of a drive there on John D. He's actually already extended that gap out by almost a second. So Andy running really hot right now. And just John D in 13th.
Sorry to bite him quickly. Maddow pitted last lap, and from 4th place he's dropped down to 23rd after pitting.
Right, yeah. We thought as much. Well, we'll catch up with him shortly. 14th place then is this man, Rick Binnisley in the Aston Martin white and blue. 15th is Xavier Eugenie in the BMW M6. 16th is this man, Sean Wright in the Porsche 911. Followed closely by Carlos Banos. I said closely, but I was lying. In another gorgeous livery and a beautiful Ferrari. Absolutely beautiful. And hot on his ass is this man, RWB Isaacs, the son of our very own RWB Rigel, who we've not seen. And lock up your daughters, it's RWB Beer in the Ferrari in that sort of golden black. Lots of blue flags flying around at the moment, blue flags everywhere. But Beer holding a nice steady 19th, challenging, trying to get on the arse of Isaac. And just behind him is Jammer in the GTR Lollipop in 20th place. 21st is this man, Scott Free, in the BMW. Loves his BMW.
I think he's the only one.
Scott has pitted. 143.4 is his best lap tonight. So go on, Scott. Jody Barraclough is in 22nd place right now in the orange AM. Not to be confused with Tiger. Tiger usually sporting the orange, and RWB Orange also sports the orange. But obviously those two guys are either not in it or choosing some other colour. Maddow then, who we just spoke about coming through Lecu in 23rd place then. So he was in, what did we say, 4th?
Yeah, 4th, yeah.
After pitting is now in 23rd. This man in the Ferrari, red Ferrari, 24th place is Francisco Jose Diaz. And 25th held by Sean Bennett in the Aston Martin. 26th place is Pepe Garcia. So Pepe Garcia was we think a latecomer, is that right? Potentially a latecomer to the race, and maybe didn't get a qualification lap in, and may have been starting from the back, and is now up into 26th. So if that is correct, because obviously we can't follow the guy or the whole of the race, but he may very well have gained 26 positions over the course of the last 50 minutes.
Fair play to him.
Our very own RWB Charger then, in that big old Lexus Charger, 92 years of age, emphysema, bowel cancer, testicular cancer, ingrowing toenails, gingivitis, all kinds of issues, but still makes time to get on and race with RWB. So big shout out to the old man.
I just hope he realises that he hasn't pitted yet.
He has not pitted yet. Yeah, that's such a good point. Has he missed his pit? Like you said he was in the pit, but maybe he didn't actually pit because he's not served his mandatory pit. So I wonder if he
did. I don't know what happened, but he went in the pits and it said pit stop beside his name.
Yeah.
But he's come out and it hasn't shown he's done his pit.
Yeah, I think he may have pitted, but didn't change the time. Maybe didn't change the tyres like he should have done, or for whatever reason he's not satisfied his mandatory pit stop. So Charger currently running I think by the 10-minute mark he will be running an illegal race and maybe facing disqualification, or at the very least a very hefty penalty. But hopefully not. Just behind him then is this man, Justin Madley, in the Lexus. Another Lexus out there. Slightly different livery though, this one in red and white, holding 28. And mixed in with some of the front runners there is TTTV Race World, currently running 30th place right now in the Audi RS8. Looks as though he's picked up some damage. I think we saw him go off earlier and hit the wall perhaps. And he's clearly got some damage on the front of that Audi. In 31st place right now then is Robert De Vries in the Lamborghini Murcielago. 31st place then for Robert right now. Another nice livery, I must admit. This game just looks beautiful. Every time I look at one of these cars, I'm like, that's a nice car. That's a nice car. That's a beautiful car.
All
that's a nice car. They're all nice. But yeah, Rob.
Sorry, just quickly. Ryan Finch has just popped in the chat and said, technical issues. YouTube decided to pop up on my screen during the race. I'm gutted.
Oh, no way.
What a bugger.
That is terrible. And then obviously went off into the wall and potentially potentially damaged his car beyond repair. That's unfortunate, mate. Hard luck, Ryan, and we'll be watching out for you on the next race. Hopefully you can get the gremlins sorted out, and hopefully you won't run into this issue again. 32nd place then is Greedy Me, the Twitch and YouTube streamer. Gree running a very respectable 32nd place right now in the Bentley. Followed by this man in the white AMG. Loves his AMG. His RWB Cosmic One. Me and Cos were actually exploring the big bad galaxy last night in Star Citizen. We went out on a bit of a mandate, me and Cos, so we flew across the star system, plunked it on, delivered a box, rode the train together, parked our spaceship on a mountain, and we watched the sun come up whilst drinking brewskis and holding hands. So yeah, good to see Cos out there tonight, holding a very respectable 33rd position. Well done, Cos. And don't all scream at once. The Tom Proctor fan club, Zin in chat, you'll be pleased to know that Tom is holding 34th. Whew, we've been doing this for nearly 14 minutes and we're at car 35. Come on, we need to get this done 5 minutes before the end. 35th, James Down in another gorgeous liveried Ferrari. A great colour scheme on that. 36th place is Audi, just there as we see him coming around in that GTR in the red and grey. 37th place then, so quite the surprise. We've got RWB Rigel, usually one of the front runners at RWB, all the way down in 37th place. So a bit of a tough race for Rigel. 38th place in that bruised and battered yellow and black RSA is John. 39th place, our very own graphics extraordinaire, poster maker specialist, RWB in 39th. And in 40th, we've got Jonah Bergkvist. I hope I pronounced that right, but Jonah holding 40th place in the 42nd place is Dan Anderson in the Porsche, who we saw go off a little bit earlier and hit the wall. Yeah, looking a little bit bruised and battered, that Porsche right now. 43rd, RWB Medstep in the BMW. Nice and bright. You'll see him coming in your mirrors.
Yeah, you can't miss him.
And potentially retired then. This looks as though RWB FX could very well be out of the race right now, so that's FX.
Yeah, he's retired, I think.
Nate Newcomer then, in 45th place, in the McLaren. And then we've got Winchy retired. Tiger still out on track in 47th place right now. So Tiger fighting tooth and claw to hold on to that position. 47th for Tiger. Go on, lad. Keep it on the grey stuff. Mark Bean in the pits then. Is Mark Bean potentially out? I mean, to be in the pits at this time is not looking great for him. So Mark Bean potentially. Bull also retired. Khalil Kibradar also retired. And that's our 52 car rundown. Whew.
And you did it before 5 minutes before the end, mate.
Oh my lord, I'm going to need a drink.
So, as Hack's having a quick drink, I'll take over. And we just look at Mr. Speed Demon cruising along like he always does. Molly is, doesn't say how far he is behind at the moment. Just popped up, 31 seconds. And he's pitted, he's brought the time back up to 30 seconds. He is unreal. So, on board with Molly. Oh, Oliver Kinton is closed the gap on Molly, and it could be a close battle till the end of the race with these last two. Unless Caltesi, sorry if I pronounced his name wrong, is right. No, he's a bit 3 seconds behind. So all good.
So yeah, that's Calzetti in 4th place, but just behind him is RWB Helmet and the GTR, followed very closely by Kevin Cox, who was holding 2nd place. So Kevin Cox may have had a mistake, or perhaps he'd not pitted, or who knows, but Kevin Cox down into 6th place in this battle with Helmet and Gianmarco Calzetti for 4th. As we go on board with Kevin then, as he looks at the inside of Helmet, coming into Inway. Down the start-finish line then, looking on the rear of Helmet. So looking back from the rear of Helmet then. And is Cox going to have the balls to go up the inside and coming into T1? Doesn't look like it is holding back a little bit. Helmet's managed to hold it.
I think it just showed how quick that Nissan is on a straight line. Unbelievable.
Yeah, quite the beast down the straights. It's well, it's just a big old brick with a big old engine in it at the end of the day. It's not the best handling car out there, although it does handle fairly well in the corners. But you know, it's the ace up its sleeve is its straight line speed, and you know, Helmet clearly showing that it's no slouch, holding a very respectable fifth right now. Not the place you would expect to see it in a sim like Race Room, for example. So yeah, Helmet, you know, putting that car on the map tonight. So Zin's just asked, do we think ACC will be on sale soon, or is 25 quid just going to be... I would be very surprised if it went lower than 25. 25 for this game, I think, is an absolute steal, and I would highly recommend that you know, drop £25 on this game, providing you've got the system to run it, because it is a hell of a resource hog, and you need quite the beefy machine to be able to run it at a decent pace. I actually... as we see Cox slam into the rear of Helmet there. Yeah, looks like Cox is getting desperate. Sorry, to get around Helmet coming into Inway. So that was one of the places where we said we'd see a little bit of overtaking action, and Cox certainly putting his money where his mouth is. We're seeing coming into T1 as he got the drive up the inside of Helmet. Helmet's gone very wide there to let him through. Helmet trying to get the cutback. Yeah, trying to get the cutback as we come into this left-hander. Looks as though there was a little bump on the inside there, as we see Helmet going a little wide as he gets the inside drive coming into Club there. Then so down into the Esters coming up now. Looks as though Cox may have let him have that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looked like he did. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks as though maybe he bullied his way. I'm not sure. It may have been all above board. Helmet sort of made mincemeat of him there, trying to get in that position back. So who knows? Who knows what happened there? But yeah, some interesting action. So 1 minute still to go right now. We've got 1 minute to go as we see Jake Moore coming over the line in first place. Then a hefty. It's difficult to tell actually. So Mole way back.
It was 32 seconds, so I don't know what it was the last time I checked.
Yeah, it's about 30 seconds if I'm honest with you. As we see Jake come around T1, Mole is not even got to Cheetah yet, so that's Cheetah. It's just coming down to Inway now, and then he's on to the start-finish line. And Jake is way off into the distance. But yeah, so Jake running a hell of a race. There's 30 seconds on the clock. This is going to be the final lap, so we've got to give Jake his sort of moment in the spotlight, as it were, as we see him actually coming around on the rear of Calzetta. So as Calzetta's down into 21st, so I wonder if because Calzetta was one of the front runners, so it looks as though
he was sick for the time.
Yeah, it looks as though he's had maybe a bit of an off, or he's had to fix some damage. As we see Jake come round Lacoup, coming down into Mineshaft now. Down through Mineshaft then into the Crocodiles, I believe. Yeah, this is the Crocodiles. First gear, right-hander. Nice and steady. Into Cheetah then, the fast right-hander. 2 more corners to go. That's Cheetah done. Inway, nice and steady then. Round Inways, we see Jake Moore. Whoa!
Oh my god!
As we see Jake Moore, I did see the yellow flag, but I wasn't sure what. Jake Moore come over the line in first place.
Oh my god! Just imagine if he got smashed into that.
Yeah, that would have been terrible. So Molly then, holding a very respectable second place right now. He's just come around Crocodiles then into Cheetah. And coming down into Inway as we see him come around the final turn, followed very closely by Olivier Kurt, as we see him come over the line then. So congratulations to Mo Morley on a second place. And Olivier Curtin has taken third.
Coxey's got helmet.
So yeah, Cox has managed to get round helmet, then it would seem, on that final lap, helmet. So Cox in fourth, helmet. And Rodder's coming over the line in sixth place, doing a victory weave there, flashing his lights. Congratulations. Don Jordan over the line, followed by Moyes, followed by Andy Sand. Andy Sanders coming over the line now, then followed by
Fair play, Dave Crew. Brilliant race, mate.
Dave Crew in 10th. Well done to Dave. Oh, we might have had a penalty there. What's going on there? Or is he just on the cool down lap? Followed by...
Oh no, Rick got him. And Eugene.
Followed by John D. There's so many cars coming over the line there. So we've got John D. Gareth in 15th. Rowlands in 15th. And Isaacs in 16th.
I don't know, it looks like Dave ran out of fuel.
It might have done, actually, yeah.
Yeah, and Eugene and Rick picked him at the end.
So yeah, Dave actually in 12th. Yeah, he's come to a complete stop there. Look, that's Dave Crew just limping over the line and pulling into a little...
but he's dropped his top 10.
But yeah, so much action then. So let's get the board. So I'm just going to do the top 20 then. So we've got Jake Moore in first, Moyes Morley in second, Curtin in third, Cox in fourth, Helmet in fifth, Rodders in sixth, Jordan in seventh, Moyes in eighth, Andy San in ninth, Rick Binnesley in 10th, Xavier Eugenie in 11th, Dave Crew in 12th, Sean Wright in 13th, John D in 14th, Gareth Rowland in 15th, Isaacs in 16th, 17th is Bolanos, 18th is a Lollipop Jammer, 19th is James Barraclough, or John Barraclough, and 20th is Scott Free. And everyone else, I do apologise, but there are 50 of you. You're just going to have to wait till next time. Whew! That was a hell of a race.
It was brilliant, mate. Well, great race. Some ups and downs for people, but Jake running away with it. So
yeah, Jake clearly running away with it as usual. But
the testing he does though, he's not one who just jumps in a car and drives fast. Yes, he does that, but he does put the hours in testing the track, testing the car, getting the setup right. He does put the hard work in.
Absolutely, yeah. You can't take anything away from him, mate. So, right, let's get them down for interviews. So we need to take Jake. Where is he?
Who is the driver of the day?
We haven't got one.
We haven't got one.
Unfortunately, yeah. There's no. It's not something that's been arranged. So we need Moyes. And the list is so big that I can't actually drag these people down. FX, how do I... Oh, hang on a minute. I can move them, can't I?
You can right-click on the name and move to channel.
Yeah, I've got it. So Moyes is down, and we need Curtin, Oliver Curtin.
Curtin doesn't look like he's got his mic on.
So yeah, Curtin doesn't have a microphone. So gentlemen, welcome to the commentary box. You are live on YouTube right now. So please don't say fuck or bugger. First, obviously, we're going to start with Speed Demon with the win. Congratulations, Speed. How did that go for you?
Well, that was a fucking bugger of a race. Sorry. No, that was a good race. I scared myself shitless on lap 12 when I hit the fucking curb of death. Thought my race was over. But I managed to left to lock to save it. And yeah, after that it was a good race. I just got made down at the start, and I don't know where the 0.5 extra pace came from. I was expecting to be in the low 42s. But when I came around and I was doing 41s, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna take that away. I'm just gonna keep it, and that's what I did.
Great stuff. And there was a little bit of worry in the pre-race build-up about there being a lot of back markers to deal with for the front runners, and obviously the back markers having to deal with front runners racing through their ranks as well. Did you have any issues with the extremely busy track out there?
No, I didn't have any problems. I had few people that had, I've obviously had accidents and spun out in front of me when I came around the corners, but to be fair, they all did excellent, not getting out of way in stupid positions, not slamming on the anchors in really stupid places. They just kind of like just drifted off the racing line, coasted a bit, let me get past. So it was what we expect.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So it wasn't too bad then. That's great, and everybody was fairly polite and got out of the way when they needed to. That's good. So congratulations on the wind speed. We're going to have to move on to second place then. I believe that was Moyes. So Moyes, congratulations on your second place. How does it feel?
I don't think I got the second place. I finished in 8th.
Oh, it was Mole, wasn't it? It was Mole.
Yeah.
Right. Hang on a minute.
Good race anyway,
Yeah.
mate.
Good race. You can stay with us though.
All right then.
Oh dear. Tiger's going to be so mad at me. I can't find Mole. I can't find him.
It's Mole UK BC, mate, if the name you're looking for.
I don't think he's on. I don't think he's on Discord anymore, which is unfortunate. Okay, fair enough. Oliver Curtin, you placed third place tonight. Congratulations. Tell us about your race.
Was great race. I did not expect to finish third last one, and I definitely did not expect to be here today either. So did not do any mistake, fortunately. There was some good battle around the half race, around 30 minutes or so, and I decided to pit then. And then I was round 6 or 8, and I thought that was it. I was going to stay there, and I guess there's been some incident in the front because I suddenly realized I was third, and very, very happy.
Excellent. And how did you find working your way through the back markers and whatnot tonight? Obviously, Kyalami, not a small track by any stretch of the imagination, but also not a big one either. And with 52 cars out there tonight, did you find the amount of traffic out there tonight to be challenging?
Yeah, at some point it was, but I mean that's the game. It's the same for everyone. It's very handy to have the flashlights button because that usually when you use it, then the back markers gently pull over, and then you can go through. But yeah, I mean it was all over very okay.
Great stuff. Well, congratulations on third place, Olivia.
Thank you.
And then I'm going to move on to Moyes. So Moyes, a fantastic 8th place. I do apologise for bringing you in here unannounced, as it were. But since we're missing Mole, tell us about your race, Mole.
So yeah, I qualified in 5th, but I feel like I could have driven a lot faster. I managed to do very low 41s in my practice races, but starting from 5th was pretty good nonetheless. But around the first 20 minutes, I really struggled to move past people and really picked the wrong fights, so got squeezed out a little bit on very unfortunate positions on the track, which moved me down to P10. Then I thought I would make a smart strategic move to go into the pits a little bit earlier, but I still got out in traffic and it didn't really help. Plus, I had to fuel save very hard because I used a fuel strategy that only gave me like 50 liters of fuel. So I was on 0.5 when I crossed the line, but yeah, I mean, it was better than I expected last time. I got a very unfortunate drive-through penalty at Spas, but this time I managed to keep it clean.
Great stuff. So a bit touch and go towards the end, but you managed to hold it together. Well, congratulations on 8th place, mate. And may I ask, where did you hear about this race?
Me?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
I was on a Discord community server of Jardia. You posted your league races there, and due to my university being basically cancelled, I'm going to have to kill some time, and I thought this league was a good place for it.
Well, all I wanted to say is it's great to have you along, mate, and thank you so much for coming along and making the numbers.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No worries, mate. Congratulations on your 8th place. Well done. Well, Taz, that about does it, mate. Have you got anything to add for our guest?
Just quickly that, well done guys, great race like usual, fantastic to watch, and keep it up, and see you guys next week.
Great stuff. So that about wraps it up then. So that's the second event of our five event series of ACC racing. Quick little shout out about a couple of events that are coming up with RWB. So tomorrow on the 5th of April at 9:30, we're running in Race Room Racing Experience the Monster Madness public event. So it's just a rock up and drive. Come along and drive the Nissan GTR GT1 car around Bathurst for around about an hour. So that's going on tomorrow night. And then on the 14th of April, we have got the Clash of the Clans special event. So this is going to be a live pay-per-view boxing match between RWB International and On the Limit Racing. So a cross-club race hosted by RWB and OTL, where we'll be racing F3 Formula 3 cars around Circuit Zandvoort Grand Prix in a race room. So that'll be on the 14th of April. That's a week on Tuesday. And that about does it. So thanks everyone for coming along. Thanks to everyone in stream. Thanks to Taz. And thanks to everyone that took part in the race tonight. And remember, don't race alone. Race RWB.